Hey guys, Ginny here. I just want to do a brief review before I start streaming Halo Infinite soon, just regarding Halo Infinite Season 1, the announcements for Season 2, and taking both of those things into account from what we've had and what they've announced. Where 343 can go better, really, going into Season 3. So, if you haven't seen it today, they've announced and they've released a pretty cool looking trailer about season 2 called Lone Wolves, which we've known for a while. But it's going to come with some new game modes. Now, there's three that they really put in a big emphasis on, which is King of the Hill, um, Last Spartan Standing. But they've also showed some other ones which are pretty cool. And if you go on the podcast and not podcast, sorry, their webpage where they outline everything that's coming, they've listed things such as old school King of the Hill, but they're doing land grab now, the one where you need to control three zones and each team gets a point, and if you manage to control all three in one round, you get extra points, and it's first to 11, which looks pretty good. Rumble Pit, so some all in all action is coming back finally, with variances on the rules, so that's going to be pretty cool. Team doubles, social skirmish, social slayer, team snipers, ninja slayer, which is an awesome sounding mode where there is grappling hooks and energy swords all around the map, and the idea is you just fly around the map trying to cut people up with your sword, and there's invisibility drops dotted around as well, so some people are literally invisible with a grappling and a sword. It sounds like it's going to be fun. They're trying something different. Vampire Ball, which is oddball, but when you hold the ball, it's one hit kill, and every time you hit someone and kill them, your energy goes up to the point where you can overcharge a shield to half an overshield. So yeah, that's quite interesting. They're trying something different again. Rocket repulsors, which is literally everyone has rocket launchers and repulsors. Sounds fantastic. And one of my favourite modes from season one, Attrition, is coming back. I think it's criminal. They had an achievement tied to the game when it launched. It only got played for 1 week and then was discarded. That is returning as a permanent playlist, so you'll always be able to go in and play Attrition whenever you want. So before I go a bit more about season two and season three, I want to reflect on season one. So I've put about 150 hours, just over now, into Halo Infinite. I haven't played it as much recently. I'm waiting for season two. Um, there's a lot of things they got wrong. Judging by the amount of playlists they have ready to go in just over a week's time, two new maps and a lot of cosmetics ready for this new season pass, they've held back a lot of content. Now I know they delayed the first series from 3 months to 6 months, extended it. I don't think it's helped the game. Player numbers have dropped off. People have been crying out for weeks for content, and it's not exactly, something that was unknown. It's a big thing in the community. The people wanted more, and they've set themselves this arbitrary date of this is the date the next season begins. Nothing gets added till then. We've already got what we're doing, and it's kind of hurt the game. So for example, for myself, the weekly updates they send, apart from the one this week, which has a nice armor coating, none of it has really been appealing. There's nothing worth grinding for. Also, like myself, who has the season pass and completed the season pass pretty early on, even though there was initial complaints that it looks like it's going to be take too long, the season pass was actually really short. The problem you get is nearly all of the challenges that you get assigned are for game modes you don't like, or they're crap. Like the savior one, we have to shoot somebody who's about to die a mile away, and it never works. Um, it's really poorly implemented, the challenge system, and I know they've made huge strides on it, and it is a lot better now. The problem you have if you're someone like me who completed the battle pass early on is you're not unlocking swappables anymore. So when you get a few bad challenges locked in um, your list of challenges you need to complete to unlock the weekly theme, you can't swap them out because you're not earning them from the battle pass anymore. So the incentive would be to play the game less, so your battle pass is active more, to swap out bad challenges, and I don't think that's what they meant. So for people like me who completed it earlier, there was less incentive to keep grinding because you get stuck with challenges you can't get rid of. Um, yes, that was really poorly thought out. They brought in events like Fractured Tenrai, which I did after the third one, I believe, the earliest you could do it. I enjoyed it. It was a good idea. The problem you had is then they dedicated 3 more weeks, which is fine for people who needed to catch up. But they said after the first week, you would always have one slot dedicated where you'd have one of the orange challenges to unlock further armor for that pass, and it did the next time it came around. And then it didn't. It just dropped off again. And then Tactical Ops came around, and it just got rid of it completely. So you were having times where you're playing the game, like myself, you've completed the battle pass, XP means nothing to you, but you want to do Tactical Ops and Fractured Tenrai, and the challenges specific to those events, even though they said you'd always have at least one active, weren't populating. And they've just, people are calling it out in comments and Twitter, and they're just ignoring it. So they said they would fix it. They fixed it for 1 week, and then it's gone again. So it's not been the smoothest of first seasons. The season was too long. There's not been enough game modes. There's not been enough content. They've put game modes in like Fiesta, which people really enjoyed, and then pulled it. And after huge backlash, eventually they put it back in as a permanent mode. And then they introduced Attrition, which, as I said, there was an achievement that launched with the game based around this game mode, and it wasn't in the game. They brought her in for a week. Me and my friends played so much Halo that week. They loved that game mode. It reminded us of Gears of War, where you spawn as a team, you have so many lives, and then you have to revive on your last life. They really enjoyed it. It never came back. Bizarre. For a game where people are complaining there's not enough content, why are you pulling out game modes? It just doesn't make sense to me. So the first season, they've made a lot of mistakes. They seem to have listened, and there seems to be more coming, like from the list I said then of game modes coming in season 2. The problem I have is it seems like they've held this list back to make it seem like, look, we're ready to go, look at everything. But this is a game that launched 6 months ago. Why not do a mid-season drop and add new game modes? This is a concern I have going into the next season, which is another 3 months long. They've announced 2 maps and all these game modes. I'm worried that's all we're going to get for 3 months. What if in 2 months' time you get bored of those maps and you want something new and nothing comes? Like, I think they need to do a 3-month plan, but maybe do 3 maps. So 2 maps at the beginning, and you get a mid-season and extra map drops. Or a certain event or game mode that completely changes what the game is about, drops for a week and then disappears. Those ones I'm fine with. They did it in Call of Duty where the Warzone was the Halloween one. You could become the zombies after you died. That game mode was fantastic. I miss it, but I get why they launch it around Halloween and they pull it. There just needs to be more. The game seems to be bare bones as it is, and they're putting these barriers in their own way, going, oh, we'll launch this at this date, we'll launch this at this date, where you haven't got the luxury. People are already leaving. People are bored. You need to add stuff in. If you're being a live service game, be live service. Don't set future DLC dates. Your live service needs to be more weekly or fortnightly. You need to drop stuff more regularly, other than this is what you're getting for 3 months, this is what you're getting for 6 months. It doesn't work like that if you're promoting yourself as a game. And then if you put these events up where everyone gets 6 times to complete it, you've got to be aware that some people are going to complete it in free. So maybe reward the ones who have grinded out that free, done it in free, a bit more for them to achieve. So you can only get everything if you're dedicated and you spend all of the time grinding, maybe. Just something further. Otherwise, some players are losing the will to play. And it's unfortunate, because one thing I'll say for 343, the gameplay on Halo Infinite is the best gameplay of a Halo game I've ever played. I'm the resident XPL Halo fanboy. I've got the console, I've got, well, everything like related to Halo, and this gameplay is incredible. It's just being let down by this weird multiplayer model they have. So going into Series 2, they've announced 2 new maps, a lot of new gameplay modes, and one that really, really excites me is Last Spartan Standing. It looks like something completely different to what Halo's had before. I know Certain Affinity are being brought on board to work on maps and a new game mode that apparently has been in development for a few years. It's going to be exciting to see when that drops, probably next season or the one after, and they can start picking things up. But it looks like Season 2, from what they've announced, is pretty much going to be, this is what you get at the beginning. We're going to get a timeline through data hackers, like we have all this series. We've pretty much been spot on about what events we're getting each week, and everything's rigid and set, and we know what the store items are, we know what the events are weeks in advance. they need to be more dynamic. So they can have this plan, but if the player base is reacting to something, they need to be ready to go, next week we're pushing this forward or we're changing this because that isn't working. And it just doesn't seem to be there. So my Season 2 looks great. I'm going to get the Battle Pass. My Microsoft reward points are built up. I'm ready to drop it. And, you know, the fact that they're putting more cosmetics in is great. They're putting enough points in to buy the Battle Pass the season after if you complete it, which is something Fortnite used to do. And I think that's a good idea to keep rewarding players for playing the game. I hope Season 3 sees this is the season, this is the theme. We're going to drop things throughout more than here's your new maps, here's your game modes. A couple of game modes will come later and we'll rotate them for a week and pull them from you. I want to see 2 maps, a map after a few weeks, or you know, halfway through the 3 months, and just it just, if you're being a live service game, you need to be more live service and give us little events, little content drops to have meaning. It's really like you can see my Spartans rotating in the background. I've done my 3 Spartans and they look incredible, but there's no incentive to me apart from that one armor coating now that they've brought in to really play it this week. And we're 6 months in, so the only thing I would log on and play this week is to get a different paint, which is a bit weird because I am one of the ones who are normally against this kind of progression systems, because I used to play Halo 2 religiously and I didn't care about progression or reward systems or what cosmetic I was unlocking. I didn't care. I'd make my Spartan look how I wanted to look and then I'd go and play the game religiously hour after hour every night. But gaming's changed, and the way they've set this game up is to embrace this new change, but the problem is they haven't nailed it. If they'd have come out of the gate, stuck all the content in, keep giving content and allow you to unlock and customize however you wanted, then probably more people would still be playing and it would be, oh, it's like an old school Halo game. But they've decided to go live service, drip feed the content, base it around these arbitrary events and dates that they're putting in place, but they're not living up to how you need to deliver that. So Season 2, I'm hoping is better. I'm actually quite excited from the list of game modes they've announced. That's going to keep me interested for the next few months. It needs more maps. 2's not enough. It needed more maps. 2 should have dropped months ago, especially because they extended this season. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that because it's 6 months we get 2 and the next season we only get 1 because it's a 3-month wait, because if that's the case, that's really going to kill this game. But hopefully this season goes well. I keep saying hope because that's all I've got with Infinite at the moment. It's one of my most played games on Xbox. I love the way the game plays. 343 just need to get it right. They've launched Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo MCC, and now Halo Infinite. And every time they've messed up the launch, the amount of content, or something doesn't work. And they make the same mistakes every time and then go through the same path of correcting. I just wish with Infinite and the extra time they got, they'd have jumped to the bit where they'd already fixed it and gone, well, Halo MCC is in this state. People love all this about it. Let's stick down Infinite as a standard. Not, well, let's mess it up like we did the other games and then patch it exactly the same way as we did before. It's just, I don't want, there's a lot of people like, oh, take Halo away from. No, they've made an excellent Halo campaign and the game feels incredible. They clearly need more people working on multiplayer, or certain affinity needs to take over, or at least assist massively with how the multiplayer is run, because that's where this game struggles. If you're running a live service game, 343 has no experience running that, and it shows. They're saying they want to be live service, but running like Halo 2 when it had everything was available at launch, and then 3 months later a couple of maps come out as a paid DLC, and then the only difference here is these maps are free. They need to get out of that mindset and start making things more regularly. But anyway, that's me. I'm ranting now. So Series 1, a lot of lessons were learned. Series 2, it looks better. But for Series 3, or Season 3, sorry, I'm British, I keep saying series is season. They really need to step it up, get more content out, and we need more maps. 2's not enough every 3 months. and you can't then rely on Forge to fill the gap. You really need to go for it. Anyway, guys, that's my ranting over TheGinna XBL. If you enjoyed, sub, like, and check out our other stuff. Normally, Red is streaming Smite. I'll catch you later.